sometimes our weeks and our day-to-day lives are so boring, we don't have an opening, which actually helped today, kind of. And we're going to debate this here in a minute, whether or not we talk about. What are you fucking?
Because you're the worst at starting a topic. You really are. You've actually progressively gotten worse at opening, like, not opening a show, but like when you're not sure which direction it's going to go instantaneously, you kind of, it's like you have to, like, you got to feather the gas pedal. It's like, we're going to debate this. Instead of just debating it. We could just, you know, like.
Are we starting with OJ or not?
I don't know. I guess we are. We have to now because now
No, we don't.
Why don't we? It's too obvious.
I had something crazy happen to me today.
Lies. Was it OJ popping up on your internet feed?
No. I got out of the stall at the bathroom after blowing it up at lunch, and my boss walked in and walked right back out.
Oh, that's awesome.
He didn't want any of that noise.
Really? What did you eat? I have questions here. Hold on. We'll get back to OJ. But from one turd to the other. What did you eat?
Breakfast and lunch?
What do you think caused? I always wonder. I'm real like conscious of like what like when my body smells. And I went through a period where I was talking like we're just talking turds like Lincoln Logs just falling like bloom, bloom, done. And I mean we're talking hefty, just girthy turds. No stink, no smell, no wipe, just done. And I'm like, what did I do? I should keep a diary, dial this thing in, because that's like they were perfect poops. So what did you have that you know of that would have like caused such a reaction from your boss?
So I started off the day with like a homemade yogurt parfait. So it's yogurt, honey, fruit, and granola.
That granola will keep you regular.
Yeah. Mid-morning, I did a banana and a protein bar. So 11. And then around 1-ish, I had like some chicken breast. And it's called, you're going to make fun of me, it's called the Jennifer Aniston salad. It's like quinoa, pistachios, chickpeas, mint, parsley, lemon juice.
You started off okay, then you got the mint.
Yeah, that's a weird combo.
It makes it good, man. It makes it yummy.
I don't look. It's not that it's like mint. It's just I don't think it went with where you were going there.
Now, but hold on. That's what you had to.
And feta cheese.
That's fine. I like the feta. That's less weird than mint for no reason. I don't know. Mint seems to me, my honest opinion, mint's like something that should always just be artificial. There should never really be real mint on anything. It's just.
Except the mojito, maybe?
Disagree on that, but
maybe
yes.
mojito. But I mean, it's just masking the alcohol that you're just taking straight to the dome anyway. So who cares? But
maybe the mint is the catalyst. Maybe that's what.
But hold on. But that's what you had today. Wouldn't what you pooped out be what you had yesterday?
Well, if you pooped around lunchtime. It was probably breakfast.
A little parfait.
It was breakfast. It's breakfast to remnant of dinner.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got up, I had a cup of coffee, and I went and hit a bucket of golf balls.
That's probably it.
I may have stirred some things loose.
That's probably where it was. It's in the golf balls.
Then
coffee and the golf balls.
Coincidentally enough, after that, I got my oil change in my car.
Yeah, it's all adding up now. And did your boss say anything? Wait, did he know it was you, or did he just like?
Yeah, because so it's a urinal, 2 stalls. 1 stall is normal size, 1 stall is like handicap accessible, and two sinks. I was walking out. It was an empty bathroom. I was walking out of the handicap accessible one because a lot more room, a lot more foot space. Yeah, no, I was walking out of that, and he walked in, and I made a beeline for the to wash my hands. And I mentioned something about he's a big Villanova basketball fan, and the rumor was that Kentucky was going to go after their old coach Jay Wright, who's now on the CBS desk. He looks like he's comfy doing broadcast TV. And as I was washing my hands, I was like, Jim, I think you were right about Jay Wright. Kentucky made a stab. He said no. Jim? No, he's not here. Shit.
He smelled so bad he licked his teeth and was like, nah, we're good.
Poor guy.
I had a work truck the other day, and it stunk like gas so bad all day that my teeth literally tasted like exhaust. I was just like, this has got to be, it's just killing me right now. I have to be dying slowly.
It's good stuff.
There was a this is funny, and I may have mentioned this on the podcast before. I don't know. I was talking to our VP of operations, who has he has a front of the business park facing office in the corner, and he sits cat corner to a women's bathroom. And we were having a pretty important conversation. And he hears the toilet flush and goes, "Hold on." Yep, one of the women just took a dump in there. Uh-huh.
I would have remembered this. And I wonder if that's like his thing, or if that's just something he developed over time.
I was like, "What, can you tell by the cadence?" And he's like, "Yeah, just kind of figured it out."
He's got them all on the timer. He just licks a pencil, opens a notebook. Debbie. 12 minutes and 35 seconds on the dot.
Yeah. Hold on, Wes. I know we're talking about important money transactions. Yep, she was taking
Hey, Debbie, what'd you have last night?
Mint, probably.
Was that on the Jennifer Aniston salad, or was it in the mojito?
Mint salad.
All right. So now, do we want to segue into?
Not just yet. I want to ask you guys a question about the women's room real quick. So when we just recently redid our bathroom, and when Maria was like, "Well, what color are we gonna paint it?" I said, "Why don't we paint it like a pink or like a rose color or something like that, right?" And she's like, "Oh, that's girly. I live in a house with 2 boys. Like, why would I do that?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I feel, tell me if I'm wrong here, men are okay with a girly bathroom because at work we always want to try to use the women's bathroom because the women's bathroom is always nicer than the men's bathroom. So psychologically, if it looks dainty, it equals clean and hygienic and good smelling. No?
No. I don't. No. Disagree. I don't know. But I've always heard women's bathrooms are fucking.
Well, the stalls
disgusting.
are, yeah, but but everything else around them.
Is it? I don't think that's true either. I think that's you. I think you've made that up in your
maybe
mind.
I have. Wes?
But no.
Gonna try to squeeze like a love seat and some potpourri and some easy reading.
I feel like that's okay. When the last place I worked, like everybody just was like side of the eye. They actually had to put a sign on the door like no men in the women's bathroom because I think it's like the women clean the women's bathroom. We don't care, right? Like we're probably we're more disgusting and we also care less. So the men's bathroom, like there'd be like a pubic hair just sitting on the fucking toilet seat. It would smell like maple syrup in there, just disgusting, like spittle on the mirror. And then you go in the women's room, and yeah, there were literally matches sitting on like the ledge of the mirror. There were flowers in there, like real potted plants that you actually had to water with like real like liquid. I was like, wow, this place is awesome. Like the toilet seat was comfortable. The fan didn't rattle in the ceiling. It just made a hum sound instead of noise. Everything about it was better. And so maybe I'm just in my mind, I'm like, women's rooms are better than men's rooms. I want my bathroom to look like a women's room.
Yeah, can you get on can you try to see if there's like a psychological aspect to a color choice, something like this? Maybe like a Reddit thread where, something that induces calmness and kind of a more meditative
state. Blue,
state.
Much like my shirt, but I was like, this is neutral. That's whatever. It's kind of lame.
What's the best color room to poop in?
Oh,
it's a they/them bathroom. Congrats.
This is probably
progressive.
This is probably total horseshit. I don't know. I'm just finding some stuff.
Because what's the alternative? Like, if you want to make it look like a men's room, what do? You just do like everything in chrome and fucking motor oil color.
Yeah, you do like a bacon wallpaper. Maybe put
bacon wallpaper.
Put like a spatulas on the side. When you flush the toilet, it has some obnoxious car horn.
Lighter shades of green, blue. silver sage,
Okay.
lavender.
Oh, lavender, see? Like a nice, like I said, like a nice pinkish purple. Like a rose color. Or a lavender.
Yeah.
Or lavender,
That too.
lavender color.
I don't think anyone, not that you're worried about this, but I don't think anyone could question your man card for wanting to make your household personal bathroom feminine. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I could.
know.
I would.
Not
I
that
mean,
you care.
I don't
You
care.
don't give a shit.
We don't
I
have
mean, if it makes you feel good,
we don't have
do
a
your
lot of
thing.
guests, but I don't know. I just felt like it would be warm and welcoming to be like a nice, I don't know, like a not a hot pink, not like kind of like Alan's shirt, like with the light bouncing off it there, but I know it's red, but it's got a pink hue on camera. But either way, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Let's talk about another piece of shit, Wes.
That's right. Former USC Heisman Trophy winner, 2,000-yard 2,000-yard rusher during a 14-game season. Turned actor and then turned murder sus in the trial of the century, which we know all of the key components. The judge, we don't even know the jury, but all the lawyers. Orenthal James Simpson, otherwise known as OJ, died today at the age, I think he was 76, 77,
76, 78.
76. Long battle with cancer. He must have kept that quiet. At least I didn't hear about it.
Because I don't think he felt like for like 4 years of having people heckle him praying for the cancer. So one time everybody cheered for cancer was today. Mark it in your fucking calendar. April 11th. Everyone thanked cancer for once.
God.
I mean, the Drudge Reports headline that I sent you guys was pretty stupid and kind of amazing. Cancer murders OJ. I mean, I'm going to celebrate later by listening to just compilations of Norm Macdonald on Weekend Update. That's going to be my whip when I'm going to bed.
I'm gonna watch fucking Naked Gun.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
Nordberg, one of your favorites?
Nordberg. It's my guy.
Yeah.
Well,
Also,
go ahead.
I was telling some coworkers today, people who were, some were a little bit younger, and some are substantially younger. I mean, like born in like 97 and born in 1999. So after the trial, and I explained to them that middle of gym class, when I was in 7th grade, we were doing an activity. I don't remember what it was, but the gym coaches blew their whistles and was like, all right, everyone stop what you're fucking doing. Sit down. They wheeled in a television for the verdict. It's like, we don't care about your health right now. We don't care about your resting heart rate and your active heart rate and your dodgeball activities. Sit down right the fuck now. And we all did. We were like, oh, is it the OJ trial? Oh shit. Come on, go on.
Dude, we were locked in, man. I mean, I remember when it just all started. I mean, of course, Nicole Brown Simpson, O.J. Simpson's wife found murdered, blah, 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 double homicide. And then like a week later, you got the fucking Bronco chase. It's like, damn. I mean, you want to talk about a prelude to just being glued into some fucking must-watch TV. That was when Court TV, like had a channel that nobody watched and all of a sudden had the highest ratings of any TV station.
I don't even think it existed yet. I think that was like our first, like taste of like legit, like after I think that trial, it became like a fucking thing, and then you could watch Court TV.
I think it was like C-SPAN. It was on, but no one knew it and no one watched it. It was almost like a public service channel. Like, we got to put these court cases somewhere, right? Yeah, just put them on this channel, on channel 495.
Yeah.
You thought it was just a bunch of artists sitting around doing sketches from their seat, like, well,
But they could have gotten away with that at the time too. Could have been like different courtroom artists sitting around doing like Bob Ross fucking drawings. Just I like how you
do our
Watch that.
do our happy little OJ right here, just sitting there with this happy little suit. I actually recall, because I watched a fair amount of that trial where Judge Ito went off on. He was talking about the cameraman, but not to them, talking about how it was screwing with everybody's psyche in the courtroom and how it was pissing him off. He was like, it's even affecting me. I'm even affected. I'm trying to play judge to this important trial, and I can't concentrate because I hear click, 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 every 5 seconds. I remember that vividly. And he passed away about 4 or 5 years ago.
well,
Did he? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
It's a shame.
I think we talked
Everybody
about it.
just everybody associated with
We
that.
talked about
time.
the lawyer
Who,
passing
Johnny
away.
Cochran? Or no,
Yeah.
who was the other one? Who were the lawyers? You had Shapiro. You
Shapiro.
had Cochran. You had shit. That old looking. I think it's the other old looking white dude that died that we were talking about. Start with a B, I think. Thing is, they just did a mini series on it, so it's fresh in a lot of people's minds. But so
It's like up on Hulu right now. It's like, hey, you want to watch this show?
so what year was that? Was it 95
That's
or
right.
96 that the verdict came in?
95.
95. Now I remember, okay, and I also remember this because they disrupted the NBA Finals for the Bronco chase. Like we interrupt your scheduled program, not some bullshit regularly scheduled CBS thing. The NBA Finals, Knicks versus Rockets for the OJ chase. Without
So
counting.
I guess that would have been my junior year. So I was 16, and yeah, dude, I just remember like all the non-white kids going absolutely bananas over this fucking verdict, like just like, "Wah!" Like, really, like, pretty sure he murdered those people. Like, we probably shouldn't be cheering for this acquittal. This is okay. Here we are.
There. Yeah.
I mean, they still make jokes about this. Chappelle has a whole fucking bit about it. Nearly every stand-up he has.
Now,
There's Dana Carvey stand-up had a great, like, 15
well,
minutes.
again, I honestly look. Norm Macdonald is one of my favorite stand-up comedians of all time, but I don't think we would have had so much Norm if it wasn't for OJ. So it was almost like, because
true.
I mean, if there wasn't all the controversy behind him getting fired from SNL because of telling all the OJ jokes, we may not have had so much Norm Macdonald like infused into our lives. So for that, I am in fact grateful. So I don't know, but I was actually seeing something earlier, and I remembered this at the time thinking about it, but I didn't know it was actually like conspiracy theory, and then kind of conspiracy confirmed that a lot of the jurors were black and did admit that this was payback for Rodney King. They were like,
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm fairly certain they were like, yeah, that's just kind of how that shook out.
Well, they also it was Marsha Clark and who
Also,
was
they
her
were
co-counsel.
really bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say they were pretty. They were out of their element against those fucking heavy hitters.
Yeah.
The Cochran and Shapiro team.
And when you got defense attorney coming up with fucking like T-shirt slogans with like "Glove don't fit, you must acquit." This
Yeah,
shit's over,
yeah.
bro. As a prosecutor, you're just like, fuck it, wrap it up. It's a loss. It's over.
I almost feel like if you came out at the other side and just admitted everything like that was sort of kind of obvious, like, yeah, look, Rodney King happened, and okay, we get it. And then also maybe just say, but with OJ walking free, everybody, today marks a day where racism has come to an end. Because it doesn't matter the color of your skin, it just matters the size of your bank account. If you can hire the best and the brightest attorneys in all the land, willing to pull out all the shadiest defenses humanly possible, you too can walk free from double murder in America. So let's all go to bed tonight and wake up tomorrow with a brand new Bronco in our hearts and in our souls.
I mean, that's fair, but I think like a white guy of his stature would have just like, it wouldn't have even gone to trial. They'd just been like, it's just community service, bud. You're fine. Donate to your favorite charity. Is it the KKK? That's fine. Just let it go. Like, you know what I mean? So I mean, I feel you kinda, but not really.
A plea deal for like, well, I don't know, involuntary manslaughter.
Yeah, definitely
3 to 5 years,
involuntary
time served, and we get some country club where you play fucking tennis.
Yeah, basically. You're out house arrest
Or you could,
for like a year.
on the flip side of that, house arrest. Yeah. On the flip side of that, though, is in OJ's case, he did get fucking gaped, and you can look that up on Reddit.
I understand what it is.
In the civil trial.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was.
they got
Well,
him
not
good
just
on
that, then they also got him for stealing his own stuff back after it was stolen from him.
He fucking
That
had that
was-
guy at
that was
gunpoint. That was
disgrace.
stupid.
That was disgrace to OJ at that point.
Well, yeah.
I mean, we count it, but we don't count it.
I know,
that
but
heavily.
and before Norm passed, even Norm talked about it. Like because somebody asked him about the OJ stuff, and of course you never know with Norm like whether he was joking or not. He's like, "Yeah, I feel for OJ." Like, what? You made fun of him for all those? Yeah, what do you mean? He was acquitted. He was acquitted of those murders. I feel bad for him because he went to jail for stealing his own stuff that was stolen from him. And I think he was joking, maybe a little bit, but it was a good point. I mean, that's a miscarriage of justice as well.
Well, hold on. He went back with like 3 other people and
I mean,
held a gun to that guy's face.
Yeah, I mean, but I think what the point is that it probably shouldn't have been in that.
Well, I guess my point would be that one was slitting a woman's neck from back of ear to back of ear while killing a waiter in the street in cold blood versus I would like all of those signed things that you stole from my house and storage lockers back that I can't get anybody to help me get back because they think I'm a double homicide murder convict. And then he goes to jail for not hurting anyone but threatening them with words,
No, at gunpoint.
With words. I know. Like, give me my shit back. I mean, yes, he was pointing a gun, but, it's different that he didn't pull the trigger.
I don't think Nordberg's gonna go
really?
far.
Did you not hear what I just prefaced this with?
I just can't. I can't. In my mind's eye just sees OJ as Nordberg, and I can't help it.
See, that would have been a great defense. They should have been like, look, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, this man played Nordberg and Naked Gun. I mean, come on.
And they just show a couple bits from like the movie.
Yeah,
the best clip I saw today on the social media site formerly known as Twitter was this reporter who finally got to do like a full sit down interview with OJ, post trial and all that. And she said, OJ decided he was going to play a joke on me, and this was his joke, and the cameraman was with her, and as soon as the door opens, he's got a banana, and he's like, pretends to stab her. And she's like, yeah, that was his joke. Like, Jesus, man.
Solid joke.
I guess.
Like,
I mean,
I don't know, man. You're also like, you forget, Wes, do you remember I had an OJ jersey? And I, from time to time, like to wear it out about town.
Yeah.
Like Federal Hill. Fucking didn't matter. I'd wear it about town. And fucking people would be like, really, man? It's fucking murderer. And I'm like, it's first 2,000-yard rusher. Get the fuck out of here. Beat it.
Damn.
And I would just beat people with stats. And it would infuriate these white boys. And it was fucking phenomenal. I still got it. I'm digging it out. I might take it for a ride here sometime soon.
R.I.P. Juice, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I was at Mother's with you once. And it was kind of a mixed crowd of like what he just said. Really, man? Like, damn, where'd you get that throwback?
Yeah,
that OJ.
It's a Mitchell and Ness OJ Simpson, baby. It's a white Buffalo Bills jersey.
I will say I did end up watching some of his highlights this morning, and just after I heard the news, and man, that guy's, I mean, his legs from the knees down were like rubber. They flopped like left and right. Somehow it's like almost like he had an extra joint in his knees. They didn't just go forwards and backwards. They went left and right, and he just bounced off of shit. It was just, God, I wish I was allowed legally to have better memories of OJ.
That's right. On bad teams too.
Yeah, but
really.
I think he went to one playoff game.
One playoff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same.
Yeah.
When I was reading through his stats, I think the one thing that caught me was so when he did he hit 2,000 yards. He rushed for 419 yards in the last 2 games.
Well, okay,
To get
2 and change in the last 2 games. That's the other thing too, man. In a 14-game season, you got what?
Yeah.
3 extra tries now. God.
Yeah, and these guys aren't. I mean, the game has changed, but these guys aren't getting enough carries to do that. But yeah, give that guy him or Jim Brown. Give one of those guys that many carries.
Barry. I mean, that was the other thing I was going to say. Like him being on bad teams. Like Sanders was on notoriously terrible passing teams too, which is why he got the ball so much to be able to run it. But I did want to ask you though, just thinking about the 2,000 yards, would you guys find it equivalent if somebody does get a 2,000 yard rushing season, like I don't know, soon, with 17 games instead of I mean we're already at 16. It took Barry 16 to get his. So would you hold it? Is it equivalent, or is it tainted, or should we up?
Wait, hold on. So I don't think Barry Sanders ever had a 2,000 yard season.
Yep,
Did he not?
definitely
He
did.
definitely did. I think.
Swear to you, promise.
I think combined yards.
Nope.
Adrian Peterson was the last one to do
Barry
it.
Sanders.
Last person to
Barry
do
Sanders
it
had one.
was Adrian Peterson. Chris Johnson, Jamal Lewis,
Barry Sanders.
Eric Dickerson,
He might not.
Barry Sanders.
Yeah, he did. 1997,
Really?
2053.
Because I remember the one that he broke 2,000 on, he got like 2,001 yards, and it was like a 3-yard carry. And then the next play, he got the ball, he runs it for like fucking like 30.
Yeah.
So you're saying like a 2,000 yard season now? Would we say that's comparable?
I mean, would you put him?
I would say yeah, because like I think the game changes, right? Like you don't have too many like 30 to 40 carry backs anymore. You know what I mean? Which is what those guys were. So like, yeah, you get 3 more cracks at it, but I'd say these guys probably average like 20 to 30 carries a game. So I'd still say it's impressive. It's just slightly different. Because even still, like, I mean, Barry did it in 16 games. And that was still a fucking hell of an accomplishment. You know what I mean? I think it's still a fucking feat.
All right. I mean, I agree with that. I don't know. It just seems like maybe we should base it on carries or something. I don't know. It's like a 3,000.
It's the beauty of sports, man. You can digest it like a million ways. You're making a great point. Yeah. How many carries? Et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Like under this many carries. I mean, no, because but everybody that gets to 2,000 yards is like, oh, there's a 2,000 yard rusher. Like, yeah, but 17.
Well, here's a comparison. Let's do it this way, right? So I'm looking at both their stats. So 1973, fucking the Juice ran for 2,003 yards, 332 attempts in 14 games. In 1997, Barry Sanders in 16 games, 335 yards, 2,053 yards. So only 3 more touches did Barry Sanders have.
And he had more yards.
Yeah.
And just slightly more yards. He had like 50 more yards.
I also wonder with that Lions team, because there was a year Herman Moore set the receptions record for receiver. That's been broken. I think he's like still kind of in the top 10. But, the game that record stood until I think Marvin Harrison broke it. And I wonder if just talking about like an impressive offense.
All right, and just for shits and giggles, right, to drive that point home, Adrian Peterson, 2012, 16 games, 348 touches, 2,097 yards. So he's still you're talking plus or minus 5 of touches either way from those 3's 2,000 yard season. So that's really what you're talking about is about 350 touches. Get.
I mean, I would like it to be crafted, maybe presented a different way. Maybe call it the 2,350 club or something. Like you got 350 touches to get 2,000 yards, or you're fuck you.
Yeah,
you're fuck you.
Who else
do you think you are? I am.
You are semicolon.
By the
fuck
way.
You.
The anniversary of the Pete Weber, who do you think you are? I am, was a couple weeks ago, and I saw an interview with him.
Yeah.
And apparently he was talking straight shit to one kid that was like 12 years old that he said was talking shit, like while he was like on his like whatever setup or delivery or whatever. And he said he kept staring at him. He's like, I kept staring at that kid the whole game, and I could see him running his little fucking mouth. So as soon as I was done, I walked over and he's like, it didn't come out right. Obviously, that's not what I wanted to say, but I think you got the point. I'm like, holy shit, you were bragging about like screaming at a child at a professional bowling event.
Asking him who he thought he was, but I am.
Exactly.
God, that would you could pay a psychologist a couple $1,000s to dissect that statement right there.
Man, I'm
Go
just
back, yeah.
I'm just looking at stats.
We talked about Pete Weber long enough.
See something interesting. So, all right, Terrell Davis in 1998, right? 392 touches, 2,008 yards. So almost 400 touches.
Pathetic.
Fucking Jamal Lewis, 16 games, 387 touches, 2,066 yards.
Terrible.
What was
Yeah.
Dickerson's?
Dickerson's.
The all-time single-season record. I think it's like 85 or 84. The Rams.
Yeah, I think it's 85. 84. 16 games, 379 touches, 2,105 yards.
Yeah, but see, he made up for the yards with the touches. You see what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You know what I'm
Who
saying?
who do you
Yeah,
think you
so,
are?
I mean,
am.
really, you're talking about 350 to 400 touches. You should be getting 2,000 yards. If you're a running back and you're running the ball that many times and you don't get 2,000 yards, you're trash. Or you're really good, but just not as good as the
All
Hall
right.
of Fame guys that we just
Now
talked
check the
about.
stats on this.
Or you are fuck you.
All right, how many running backs, less than 400 touches, over 2,000 yards, double homicide, acquittals?
Only
Only one,
juice,
baby.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say there might be a DUI or some domestic dispute in there, but yeah, the double homicide acquittal. Yeah. And an actor, starting a major. I'm not talking about some stupid cameo and
Nope.
Billy Madison or whatever. I can't think of one of those running backs starting in something. I don't know.
Neither can I, honestly.
Well, I mean, you
Yeah.
had a lot of the. Well, we just lost a great recently, Carl Weathers. He was a NFL guy, and he went on to have a pretty storied career. I know
Dude,
he's not. I
hold
know
on.
he's not one of them. I know he's not one of the elite of the elite. Just saying.
I got you.
God.
I got you. I think one of the guys in Dust Till Dawn was the original. Was it the original Shaft?
Yeah, it might have been Richard Roundtree.
Yeah. I think he played a couple of years in the NFL.
Yeah, but see, back then too, like a lot of their careers were cut really short by like high ankle sprains because there was no medical technology.
By a
Yeah.
concussion.
Right. Yeah, rumor was our middle school gym coach played for the Browns for a couple of years.
Mr. Hammond?
Yeah.
No,
He did.
really?
Browns practice squad.
It's still impressive if it's
I think.
true.
I don't know. Yeah.
By the way, they are remaking Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen. Not Leslie Nielsen. He wasn't. Liam Neeson.
That guy's dead, isn't he? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, really?
is it just because the closest to the name?
Well, it is ironic. As I mixed the names, I was like, wait a minute, those are really similar names actually. Leslie Nielsen, Liam Neeson. It's like they just inverted it. But no, I mean,
They were just
Liam Neeson did a episode, I don't know, some show that Ricky Gervais had like over in Britain, and he does this scene where he's just deadpanning, but it's hilarious. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense because that's all Leslie Nielsen did is he said dumb things in the straightest way possible.
yeah, I'm okay with that.
I think it's gonna work. We just need to know who
It
Nordberg
might-
is.
it might work. That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I say. Do you keep it African American or do you deviate a little bit? Do you go like John Leguizamo?
No, see,
or
I mean,
something like that?
unfortunately, I think we're gonna end up with like I don't know, like a gay trans lesbian. I don't know, like.
Do you really see that many of them on television?
Well,
these
that's
days?
why we need one to play Nordberg. Representation, okay?
Jeez,
How about like a Messi?
uproar
Get Lionel
already.
Messi in there.
that'd be good. That'd be nice.
Yeah. See what his acting chops are. Probably
Yeah,
terrible.
You need an ex-athlete.
You need somebody that's just not a great actor who can be in the role. That's likable. Thing is when OJ played Nordberg, he was like one of the most likable human beings in all of America.
Dude, people loved
Yeah.
the juice before. the shit
People were
went
upset
down.
that he retired. They wanted to keep seeing him. He did all those Hertz rental car commercials.
The Hertz
And they were like, well,
running-
where can we get
yeah.
more OJ? And they were like, we're going to make a movie fucking make a part for OJ. He has very little speaking lines. He's in a coma most of the movie, and you feel for him.
Yeah, and he performs his own stunts. He gets flipped out of a wheelchair,
Dude.
probably 6 or 7 stories from the
Yeah.
top deck of the Angel
I watch
Stadium.
that clip about 20 times a day. Whoever weighted that dummy, bravo. Like
Yeah. it's so
somehow
good.
the head and legs stay like it's like it ass over tea kettle, man. Perfect.
Yeah, just-
They must
yeah.
have put like 30 pounds in like the head and the feet and just been like, see what happens. Give her a roll.
Yeah.
Well,
There's
the scene where he's like takes all the damage though, on what is it on the boat? Is that what it is? He like puts his hand on like the hot stove and shit. Like steps in a bear. Why is there an active bear trap on a boat? Like it's the most ridiculous like slapsticky scene ever. I fucking love it.
Oh, shit.
there's a really good Damon Wayans had a good stand-up bit from a comedy special of his in the mid 90s. It had to have been post trial where he says he made OJ made a video post verdict to then explain why he didn't commit the murders, which is like one of the dumbest things before. And he keeps talking about like the wall in his backyard, and he's like, you can tell by the Hertz rental car commercials when I jump over the car, I got bad knees. It's just so bad I couldn't jump over this wall. I can't do that.
Constantly explaining to, yeah, if you constantly explain to people your limitations, and yeah, it's a little suspect.
It's like, they say I dropped a glove. I'd never dropped a football in the 7-8 years I played football. Throw that football anywhere. Throw it over the wall. I'll catch it. Jump
But
over
I
that
am gonna
thing.
hurt my knees because they ain't good.
That's right. Well, I rest in peace. I
No,
guess.
no,
Is that the
no.
thunder fell on that?
Yeah, rest in
Just
peace,
don't
Goose.
rest and have no peace.
Yeah.
Well, middle class souls, everyone. Murr Allen Foxman. 36 minutes in, I managed to squeeze in an introduction. Thank you for tuning in, folks. If you're like some Americans and you have a tough time with Scrabble, one of the world's most beloved games, there's a new collaborative and accessible version. So 75 years, all you Wordsworth, all you vocabulary geniuses, all you scholars of the English language, all you people who can just pick up a Merriam-Webster's dictionary and just fly through it and debate whether or not something is or isn't a word. Check it out. It's they're adding a new second side of the board that is a collaborative and faster paced to make gameplay more accessible for anyone who finds word games intimidating. That's about all they gave some stats about baby boomers, millennials, Gen Zs. They say this is the way of the future. They want to make
They wanted to dumb it down. That's the genesis of this. They're like,
I didn't see dumb it down.
okay, you
anywhere
may
in this
not be
article.
able to control F and find dumb it down in the article, but the translation to everything you just said is that people are dumb and they don't play fucking Scrabble anymore because it's intimidating because it's hard, because to this generation, as I will quote a young Alan Giannis here, words is hard. And so,
I mean, not for me, but yes.
words is hard. You've told me when I've tried to explain myself that words is hard, and I'm saying for the younger generation, words is hard. They don't. Okay, here's an example. William's 9. He'll be like, "Daddy, how do you spell this?" And I'll give him 3 letters and be like, "Got it." It's because the fucking thing on the iPad has filled in the rest of the word. He sees the word, he recognizes it. He doesn't know how to spell it. He just knows that that's helicopter. Boop. He doesn't know how to spell helicopter. He knows how to spell That's it. That's it.
I mean,
Well, maybe the collaborative version of Scrabble might be right up his alley. Maybe it's a less intimidating game.
I mean, I don't blame the good folks at Scrabble for, finding a way to continue to sell their game, but instances like this.
Well, words are hard because it's Mattel, not Scrabble. But continue.
Words is hard. First, of
We
all.
should make our own.
Let's get that clear.
We should make our own. Like, if you can convince somebody that the word is a word, then it stands.
Nah, I'm saying
I like
I mean,
say that
I
a
think
lot.
that's a word, but I don't think that's how you spell it. And then you guys can have a jovial argument about.
Yeah, whether you because that the way you spell it might get you triple
True.
word score. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
I'm terrible. I am a terrible speller. I do find Scrabble intimidating. I have a pretty above average vocabulary, but I can't spell most of the words that I know. So that's the problem
That's-
for me in Scrabble.
I feel like that's not an uncommon problem though. Like I find that sometimes my wife's like, she'll like see a word in a book and she'll be like, "What's this word?" And I'm like, "Really?" And then I'll say it to her and she's like, "Oh, I didn't know." Like an example. This is not a real example, but an example of a word that people fuck up all the time is epitome. Like I've heard mad people be
Epitome.
like epitome. And I'm like, "Did you just say that? You fucking moron!"
Mm.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So shit like that. Which so I guess I kind of get that point, but like I don't know. I love words, so I love Scrabble. Like I'm pretty good at that game.
Yeah. Metal loins. I've told you that story.
Metal Lloyd.
Pork metal loins. What are these? They're medallions, Wes. Oh, fucking A. I'll sell these. Sell these
The
tonight.
one I still get ribbed for, we were playing Pictionary. I don't remember how old I was, and I got Liberace. Now, and I mean,
Nice.
I must have been like 10, 11, 12, something like that. And apparently Liberace is spelled like, again, replace the B with a V, and it looks like liver ace. So I was trying to draw liver and a card from from a deck of cards. And they're like, "What is that?" I was like, "It's liver ace. I don't know what that is." And they're like, "It's Liberace." I don't know what that is either.
Also, like to be fair, that's a name. That's just that's rough. You know what I mean? Yeah. But
Yeah, I think-
regular dictionary words, yeah, that's trouble.
Like that would be tough for an adult to do a Pictionary
Well,
of
if I-
Liberace. How would you do
I
it
would
now?
draw a piano, and then I don't know.
Yeah.
An Italian flag.
Nah, I would probably draw a piano, and then I would draw like some.
Like a
I
fancy.
apologize. I would draw a man like making some like really effeminate
Flamboyant.
poses and such. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe a chandelier or a candelabra.
That's tough.
In a minute that you draw all that.
It's a lot of detail.
You can draw a piano. You can draw
Time's
a
up.
piano
So I
real
got-
quick. You can draw a guy like with his hands up like that, and then a candelabra, and that's if you can't guess from that,
I can't
because he always had like the
Oh, he did,
Yeah.
yeah, didn't he? I got you. I was like, why? I was thinking more like ornate, like how do you draw
Right.
him? In
I would
flamboyant
essentially
outfit,
draw like
you know?
Evil Knievel behind a piano. That's what I like, a cape and all that shit. That's how I would do it.
I'd be like,
And you got to remember, I
Rocket Man. It's Rocket Man.
there's only 3 piano like legends. I mean, you got Billy Joel, Elton John, and Liberace. That pretty much wraps it up right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me that one.
Yeah. Someone would just keep saying Billy Joel or Elton John. You sure
Elton
it's not Elton
Joel.
John? Elton John.
Billy John.
Elton Joel. Billy John Idol.
Billy Joel.
You fucking said Billy Joel 3 times.
Just draw like a slice of pizza for Billy Joel.
And he tried to draw Tony Danza at the end.
Yeah.
Swear to God, it's him.
So
Go ahead.
no, I just are there gonna be games? Are there gonna be other games that they try to dumb down? Because I'm not saying this generation's dumb, but are we? If something happens, are we gonna be able to recreate any of the stuff that we have? Like we're always like watching the news and it's like World War III is right around the corner. Vladimir Putin. Xi Jinping, China is gonna take out Taiwan. There's gonna be a nuclear blast. It's gonna take over the world. Like if shit hits the fan, are we going straight back to hunter gatherer, or are we gonna be able to pick up the pieces and recreate shit?
No, we should be able to. There are a lot of really smart people still doing really smart people stuff that a big segment of the American population has decided are like a government conspiracy and or just liars. So like those people, when we do get blasted into the Stone Ages, will bring us back from the Stone Ages, and they'll still probably be hated by those people. But either way,
like
they exist,
like
they're
Elon Musk.
around, and they will save us. No, definitely not that guy. Uh, hey, let me ask you: did you see that they hired the guys who make your work trucks to build a rail on like the moon, like a
Yeah,
train?
yeah. They're gonna colonize it. Yeah.
What for what?
Mhm.
To colonize it?
I guess, or at least move resources. They probably found a resource, and that needs to move from point
Absolutely.
A to point B. So, who else but the truck guys?
Which
to
truck
build the
guys?
rail?
Northrop Grumman? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. Why would you? You can't do, man. You gotta get like CSX up there or something, man. Like this. You got to go back and you got to watch our movies that really have shaped our mind's eye. We know we shouldn't turn on AI because of Terminator, and because of oh shit, what's the Bruce Willis movie,
Armageddon?
That you don't take fucking like Northrop Grumman like weapons engineers up to build a railway. You got to take the guys who lay the steel, man. You got to get the Amtrak dudes up there. Actually,
That's
they've
fair.
had a bad track record over the last few years. Okay,
I was gonna say I don't know, man. The longevity of said trucks.
good point. I
Alone,
I actually do agree with that.
You
know.
The trucks that I drive, Wes, are coming up on 40 years old.
Jeez.
They said the horns are a little sus, but other than that, like a charm, like an old Mac.
Well, if they actually had the parts, you got to remember that these are like second, third, fourth hand parts that are getting like wedged on to an existing 40-year-old like piece of machinery that's still operating, by the way. I've always said, because I keep going through these like contract bids and shit, and I'm like, why don't you go to Detroit, where there's probably still a big factory made out of steel with a bunch of cobwebs, and just pull that fucking Frankenstein electric switch, ka-gonk, and turn the fucking conveyor belt back on and stamp us out another fucking 100,000. We're good for another 40 fucking years.
So it's all it's going to take is a conveyor belt from
It's just- I think
12 to
that
6.
requires
and a
people, but yeah,
pumps
A few
pumps them
extra
out.
little details, like maybe get Honda engines or something, but like but the frames are fine. Everything's fine. It's the best vehicle. If you had to deliver the amount of shit I got to deliver every day, it is a perfect vehicle. It just has trouble getting from
Listen,
point A to point B.
it's great. So like,
I was-
if
I
you
was-
get a flat tire, do you just go to like Walmart and get an inner tube and blow it up, and then just stick
No,
it on
we're
the
not
road?
allowed to do that. I'm not supposed to do that anyway. I've done some shady shit, like not shady, but like I've done some I've performed some ingenuity. Okay, let's put it that way.
Okay.
You want to go to the moon? You want to build
No,
a railway
I don't.
system?
But Alan's right. They've definitely found something up there, and they definitely want to mine it. And it's definitely on the other side where nobody can fucking see it.
100%.
Really? First of all, who's they?
Oh well, it's this is the collective
Yeah.
day, not like a
Okay.
conspiracy day.
Hold on.
Just like a.
What
like
do
a
you
day.
mean? Who is they?
Okay.
I know I know you like to debunk.
Who's going to the dark side of the moon? And
They
mining?
are, and so
Northrop
and when
Grumman.
I say they are, Alan, what do you say?
I mean, they. I just answer it like that because
But
that's
you
what
would,
it means.
but
That's the
I don't know who
answer,
they are. But you agree with me
I
that
don't-
they are going.
There's a they. There's a people. There's a group of people who we can refer to as they, who paid or are going to pay
Who's going to pay
Grumman.
them?
a trail, to go build a train on the moon for some reason. So
Okay.
a logical assumption says they found something. Like, you only send American companies to build railroads in like deep the Congo because you found fucking emeralds. Like, not because you didn't, not because you want to build a rail and see if it works. Like, yeah.
Wait, hold on. So why are we talking about Northrop Grumman and Jesse's system? Why don't we dial it back like 100 years and send some Chinamen up there?
They're good at it.
They got America connected.
That's a good point.
All right.
I don't.
If
Well,
anything's
them
going to
and the
get us
Irish.
canceled, that might get us canceled.
Them and the Irish, It's not just. Let's not leave it to just the Chinamen.
That's right.
Wes, serious question though. When we say they,
All right.
do you?
I think you're talking about elitist, the global
Yeah,
elite.
yes.
yeah.
I'm not saying NWO or Mossad or Zionist, but just global elitist, a collective group of the richest and or most tapped in humans in the world may have figured out that there's something valuable on the other side of the moon. I mean, okay,
Can you buy into
Sure.
that? Or I mean, and I'm not. Look, again, I'm not. Okay,
Sure.
okay, because
because I also don't think that like the idea of a railway getting built on the moon just doesn't pop up
Right.
out of nowhere. I was like, what are they? Is this a fucking ornament? Is this some sort of like choo choo? Like you get on your telescope and around Christmas and you see the Santa moon flying around the moon. It gives warm tingles in your heart.
That would be actually
Yeah,
Okay, there's got to be a purpose.
and I guess
for it.
and I think the reason that we feel comfortable saying they, not knowing any idea who they are, is that they wouldn't tell us that they found something valuable there, and they wouldn't spend countless, I don't know how many billions of dollars it takes to not only just casually fly to and fro from the moon, but then to casually fly to and fro from the moon with a few billion tons of railway steel to fucking do work.
So, do we have confirmation that they have been doing missions there and found something
I don't-
valuable? Not the railway system, but what's linked us to.
Well,
the railway
there's
system.
been several probes over the last decade from various countries, and but
Okay.
what? Okay, I'm not saying that India
Oh.
told us that there was
Hold
something
on.
there,
We lost your
but we probably
audio.
hey, why don't you tap into their data, see what
there
it
you
says
go.
that they're
You're
not
back.
seeing.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, like Burr said, I think we're kind of on the same page. And like you said, Wes, it's not like some NWO lizard people.
Sure.
I'm talking about the De Beers company found some diamonds, and now they called up Northrop Grumman and were like, "Hey, do you want to make a space rail? We got to move some diamonds from point A to point B on the moon." Northrop Grumman was like, "That sounds like fun," and fucking a couple more investors got involved. You know what I mean? That's the they that I'm probably talking about.
And I can't think of a better way to bankrupt middle class men than offer space diamonds.
Space diamonds, exactly. Moon diamonds. Can you imagine?
Your women are gonna love them.
Yeah, moon diamonds, bro. You know how many tiny African children will fucking perish in those mines? And you know how many extra runs you got to make to take the tiny African children up there? It's insanity.
Pink Floyd is rolling over in his grave on this one.
Yep.
All right. We're gonna move on real quick because this actually was supposed to be a segue from the from the new Scrabble game too. This is just an internet list about what's something that makes you go, who the heck or who the fuck figured this out. These are some of the marvels that people suggested. Some of these a little better than others. Others, I mean, I for instance, first on the list, coffee. Quote, someone thought, this berry tastes horrible. Maybe if I pull the seed out, set it on fire for a little bit, then grind it up, then run hot water through it, I can drink it.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good point.
Yeah. That's probably centuries worth of dicking around.
Yeah, I think so. There's definitely some fucking learning curve there. Especially for the coffee beans that they pulled out of a marmoset's poop. It's popular
Right.
now, you know what I mean? That we talked about. That shit's crazy. But no, me and Kelly were talking
Wombat.
about oysters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sure it was the Native Americans or whatever, or I don't know what we call them now, indigenous peoples. Either way, it was probably one of them. But they ended up showing a bunch of other people, and they were like, "Look, check this out. You see this bay rock? If you put a knife here and you crack it open, there's a snot ball in it, and it's delicious." And mad people were like, "This is fucking crazy," and they did it, and we still eat oysters today. You know what I mean?
So I've heard that the actual it may have been off the coast of Madagascar that discovered the first
Yeah, the first oyster.
first edible oysters. Yeah,
Huh.
those folks were digging around. A little warmer on the salt water, but yeah, oysters. Christ, and I eat them about once a month.
Yeah.
But I mean, to Alan's point though, I mean, it's like the guy who walked around and like, an onion and an apple have a very similar shape, and it's like, man, who's the lucky dog that took the bite of the fucking apple? Who
Yeah.
got suckered into the fucking onion chomp?
Yeah.
Well, that leads us into number 2, cataloging mushrooms. Someone joked, this one killed Fred. This one makes you see God for 3 days. This one tastes like chicken.
Yeah. That's a risky game, but it sounds like fun.
I wonder if there was like a ruler at some point and was just like, hey,
Eat that.
all you schmucks, go out and just gather shit and bring it back here. And then it was just like, taste testing time. And it was just like a game for him. Like, see who gets sick, see who dies, see who enjoys it, and go from there.
Yeah, look, you asked a little while ago about the people who are going to rebuild society. It's those motherfuckers. Like, the first couple dudes who did that shit, they were scientists or at least, like, tribal elders. And they were like, you know what? We're going to try these things. Look at that tasty red color. That must mean it's sweet and delicious. But he did not know yet that nature, red means stop. So, and he found out real fucking quick. Like, that's just how it goes, man. Those are the people who got us to where we are.
Yeah, and soon to be part of this crazy world that we live in, moon mushrooms.
Moon
We're
mushroom.
gonna figure it out.
Fucking $800 a gram.
Talking about seeing God. God's gonna be in your rear view after you eat these motherfuckers.
Live action fistings.
Right.
God fistings.
Gape Central. Record players, quote, turning micro squiggles on vinyl into perfect reproductions of some people's voices and instruments. Like, is that witchcraft? Yeah.
See, to me, though, that's the most. I mean, I'm not saying it's obvious. It's easy for me to say it's obvious in the year 2024, but I mean, it's just vibrations. Like, it's just. Yeah, I don't know. To me, that one makes the most sense of all of them. I feel like that one would be the most reproducible because
I think the 8-track's more like weird, more obscure to me. Granted,
not
I'm,
not
I was
obscure.
born in
I'm saying-
1982, but
I'm saying like as far as like technology that's reproducible with very minimal tools, because all they really did was like was Alexander Graham Bell. All he did was like cause vibration, and just record the vibration. And those little squiggles are just the vibration, the natural vibration. So just that the replay is almost 1-to-1. That's why everybody says vinyl's the best, because like that vibration of the needle that's making the record is just a 1-to-1. Like there's almost no degradation of quality by doing that.
yeah. Then you get the B side. Don't want to mess with that.
That's degradation of quality.
Murray, you're going to love this. Anything to do with astronomy. Quote, masses of planets, distance of stars, locations of black holes, Greg Louganis diving around. A lot of impressive brain power and technology.
I will say,
I threw in the Greg Louganis portion. Though, so.
I am less impressed. I mean this. I'm less impressed by what we're able to do now, like mapping this shit, because we have the tools and technology to do so. I'm more impressed with like the Sumerians who had a fucking like a wet clay tablet in their hands and we're like, oh, there we go. Ugh. Like looking up and then back down and fucking marking that shit out almost precisely. And we're finding that shit like this many thousands of years later, and they were fucking dead on accurate.
And these were who? Mayans?
The Sumerians.
Sumerians, okay. This is when I was attending a young wee Wesley attending Frostburg State University in a cosmic concepts class, which a lot of people took. You could gain extra credit by going to a once a month planetarium show, and the planetarium show was a different solar. They focus on a different solar system, a planet within our solar system, and then what an ancient group of people theorized or how they made sense of what the universe, the star systems. Some of those were pretty interesting, especially like the Native Americans. Granted, it was a lot of fiction, but it just, again, the technology's not there. They're just making sense of what they see. Of course, one of the months I'm there, he kept saying Uranus. Uranus, and I'm getting nudged by someone behind me. He's like, come on, Wes, ask him something funny. Ask him something funny. I know you do it. I was like, all right. He's like, I can't see out in the audience. Does anyone have any questions as I keep going? He's like, oh, yes, sir. What would happen if I were to enter Uranus? And he's like, oh, God, it would be like suicide. Let me tell you, if you could even create a vessel that would get you there, I mean, the gases alone would burn that thing to smithereens. And I'm like, next on the list, MRIs. Someone said, as a med student, I was briefly taught how these things worked, and oh my God, how the hell did anyone think about this? Yeah, MRIs.
I mean, I would like to think that a lot of the technology that we have is just like, we had this base concept of something, and then we built upon it and built. Who the fuck came up with, like, I know, let's get a whole bunch of electricity and some of the strongest fucking magnets that you've ever seen, hook it up to a computer, and see what we see inside you. Like, all right, we can't. And then the first guy to wear a wedding ring in there, like, loses a finger.
Is that a space diamond? Oh, let me.
There was
impervious.
There was a video a few years ago of somebody, like, there was something metal in the room. And, again, homeboy's head is got 2 inches of clearance on each side, and just boom, the whole fucking thing, like, just explodes around him. Is wild.
Have you either of you guys had an MRI?
No,
I haven't. Really?
Yeah.
Do you have to get in that narrow thing for 45 minutes? I'm claustrophobic, so I'm kind of nervous out of it.
The one that I did was like more of like a big ass donut, right? And then the donut, you were lying on like a bed, and you had to keep your arms like at your sides, and it would like come back and forth across you. So yeah, not like the super duper one where your whole body's in there. I mean, you're fine. What's really cool is the shit that they give you, I guess the radioactive solution that goes through your body. Because they're like, all right, listen, about 5 seconds after you feel this enter your veins, you're going to think you peed your pants. I'm like, well, now that you told me I won't. And they're like, no matter how much I tell you or warn you, you're going to think you peed your pants. And yeah, it's because it's radioactive, so it's like it's hot, and you got a lot of blood vessels in your balls and dick, and it's like... I'm like, and I just started giggling. I'm like, yep, it's totally like I peed myself. I'm
assuming the same applies for women. Yeah.
Sure.
Who knows, right? Sure.
I don't know.
probably something similar.
I feel like women peeing their pants feels different, and I don't know why, and I wouldn't know, and they wouldn't know to tell me either. It would be an incommunicable kind of thing. What does it feel like when you pee your pants versus me peeing my pants? I don't know. Like, we got a thing that shoots it out, and they got a thing that kind of leaks it out. Like, what does that feel like?
But if you got pants on,
the wetness,
but it's nearly the same. It's just warm. Wet.
But that sensation, see, for me, it was like the sensation of like liquid leaving the tip of my dick. That's what made it feel like I was peeing my pants, which is what was so weird. But but I was dry.
I'm moving on.
Okay.
Computing in general, quote, the idea of converting physical stimuli into code is mind blowing. That's one I thought, like, I zeros and ones, binary code. Yes, it's impressive. It just, I think I'm so tone deaf and numb to it now. When I was like a kid in like the late 80s playing Oregon Trail, I was like, oh my God, how'd they do this?
I feel like I have a better understanding of how modern computing works more than I do like 1950s NASA, like, I don't know, 1 square block of like giant computer with like punch cards. I feel like I understand why this shit works now more than I understand how it worked then. Does that make sense?
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
Like, what were they doing? Like, was it just like some guy with really bad eyesight in there with like Coke bottle glasses, like, punching like hanging chads out of fucking like index cards? Like, what were they doing? How did they know what to punch out? Like, what was it?
Well, who's they? Okay, I'm kidding. No, I don't. Dude, I don't know. This is the situation. I'm smart enough to understand when I'm stupid to a certain situation. I have no idea. I don't know how old computing worked. I get how hardware works. I get how they communicate with each other. What the code, the binary code, God knows, man. Don't know.
I know,
Well,
but
someone smarter, someone that's not God, that's smarter than me knows.
Alan, do you know
It's all
any?
commands. But I tried program writing when I was like a senior in high school, and it took about a day to be like, "Yep, don't know this shit. Gonna have to cheat the rest of this semester."
Yeah, well, but not just, but even like, I'm not even talking about like DOS codes. I'm talking about like they had index cards with just holes in them, and those holes represented, I guess, your binary, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what were they? What did each one of those cards represent? And then on a collective as a whole, like, I don't fucking get it. Like, who conceived of that? I mean, that's wild that everything that we have now is built off of that concept that they had then. And yes, this is the one that blows my mind the most. How did we get here from that? That's wild.
That's fair. I'm just looking at stuff because I've never looked at it. I mean, I get some of it on the surface, but even some of it I would have to go and kind of like familiarize myself with some concepts to like probably fully wrap my head around it. But like I'm looking at these ones, like the ones they used during World War II on like subs and shit, and they were legitimately like electromechanical fucking like fucking. That's why they were huge. They had a bunch of just like electrical relays that like were designed to perform a specific calculation, and then they would punch in those films, and when data was inputted, it punched codes onto those films, and then they translated those codes into fucking like real world data. So like the ones on submarines were used to calculate shooting torpedoes at moving targets. So like it was designed specifically for that purpose. It wasn't like we have a computer and it plays music and videos and we look at nudie pics. Like, you know what I mean? Like it did one thing and that was it.
Yeah. And now,
Larry, did you feed that one in there already? Yeah. Tell the Alabama they got a missile coming their way. Sorry.
Well, and now too, like if the program doesn't work, you can scroll through and look for a bad line of code, right? Whereas like, what happened there? You're just holding up like punch cards to the light, like, oh, I see it. There it is. It's right there. I got it. Oh fuck! All right, let me punch this one back up.
Kind of like that hanging Chad. What's next here? Cameras. Quote, how is it possible that some device is able to somehow capture and extract the image that pointed at one click? I think this kind of goes back to your, vinyl record thing where it's vibrations. This is just light.
Yeah. Light, photosensitive paper, tin, whatever. It's a chemical reaction. I mean, it's pretty wild that somebody figured out that chemical reaction way back when. Especially when they were doing it on, like, tin slates or whatever, and, like, gunpowder on a fucking, like, on a windowsill.
Yeah. Didn't they also, like, when they did family portraits, they had to make, was it like families that, like, don't smile because you're going to be standing there for about an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why I have, like, family photos from that time or portraits. Everyone's just kind of like,
Well, if you moved, it would blur. So you had to be like 100% still because it had to like
a smile.
It was almost like it was developing in real time. So they had to like just don't fucking move.
Gotcha. 8 and 9 kind of tie together, but I'll start with 8 before I start with 9, just so I don't throw you guys off. Radios and wireless transmission. Someone said the fact that my computer, phone, and radio can talk without any wires attached is magic. Mur, you were in radio. I mean, it's all waves.
Yeah, it's just it's microwave. Well, similar to microwave technology, but it's still wild. They're not wrong. I mean,
yeah.
I'm actually proud of this list of people. I think it's very rare in this day and age that people become kind of introspective and kind of look at the things that they utilize and like wonder. I feel like wonder is like a lost art, a lost thought concept anymore. And so yeah, I just know Marconi fucking is credited for the invention of the radio, and that's about all I got from that lesson.
Well, the next one is microwave ovens. Quote, someone was testing microwave equipment for some military thing and noticed a candy bar in their pocket melted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one I know. That was the microwave was invented in Hawaii, and it was a radar system, and it's just they're like, holy shit, this radar thing we made gets really fucking hot, real fucking fast.
Guy kept blaming his trousers for being stained. Chocolate milk. What the fuck? Damn it! I was saving that for later.
Yeah,
That was a Boy Scout.
That was a happy accident. So that's.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't trying to invent a quick way to to make food. They were just like, oh, this shit gets so hot it fucking boils moisture in everything instantly.
Hey,
Yeah, pretty much.
does anyone have any corn kernels? That's what would interest me. When the trial and error come to like, damn, fuck, this is beautiful.
Dude,
Once
it's
you
funny.
figure it out, you just start putting stuff in front of it. At that point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But then
Get a couple of-
but you had to figure out exactly where to put it though, and then they finally made the box. You're like, okay, they figured out how to focus it towards the center of the area.
They put it in a safe because it's probably fucking really good for you.
Someone there was a good point, especially when you get directions for cooking something. It says if your microwave is X amount of watts, cook it at 300, 3 minutes or something. And someone says like, I've never known how many watts my microwave is.
I've
ever.
never fucking
Really?
known the answer to that.
No.
Dude, it's on the door frame.
Oh, is it?
This fucking dork.
Well, I'll tell you that I had to know because this house obviously is the house I live in is like over 40 years old, coming up on 45, and the breaker that the microwave's on, the old microwave we had was pushing too much juice. And if you had the lights on in the kitchen and ran the microwave, it would kill the breaker. So we had to make
The
sure
microwave in the dark all the time.
well, there was a bathroom. There's a bathroom in the master bedroom that if the light was on in that bathroom and you ran the microwave at the same time, it would kick the breaker. So when I bought my new microwave, I made sure I went a click. So I had to be aware of the wattage. So I know that I have exactly a 1,000 watt microwave. 1,500, can't do it.
Damn, that's an exception. But I appreciate. Hey man, look at you.
Waiting like an
Regular-
extra minute or two for food. Fucking crazy.
Well, what sucked is if you left the room, because sometimes it would stay on for like 2-3 minutes. But like, let's say you were microwaving something for 5. You had no idea when it kicked off. And you're like, God damn it. Like, how much longer do I have to cook this fucking thing now?
Now this Hot Pocket's going to be fucking frozen in the middle.
Or one side was going to be like fucking like charred.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that.
Tough upbringing. Sorry. Hopefully it's fixed out. Hopefully young William has a better household than you did.
Oh, he does, man. Because, his dad, not his pop-pop. His dad fucking figured out the wattage of a goddamn microwave. Understood it.
Lastly, finally, someone said, I want to know how someone figured out after the MGM lion in the Wizard of Oz roars to play Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon and see what happens.
That's a good fucking point.
Mushrooms.
Yeah. You're right, Alan.
Yeah.
100%.
Mushrooms.
This
Yeah,
one don't
I
taste
did.
like chicken.
I did that experiment. I was floored. I didn't see God, but I was like, wow.
I went the first time I ever went to see it, or I ever saw it. The Record Theater in Towson, like right around Halloween, does it, and they would set it up like a movie theater, and they would fucking time it out perfect. And let's just say I didn't go in there with a clear mind, and it was fucking amazing. It was because most people that are there had already seen it before, had witnessed the phenomenon, and I'm just like that kid in the fucking meme, like, whoa, the internet. Yeah. It's like
Pixie
they
dust.
know she's the witch. Yeah.
Good for you. That's. How many watts is my microwave?
Why are they putting railroads on the moon? Yeah.
Who are they? I figured it out. All right. Murr, fun fact is up, buddy.
Let's do it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. OMG Facts brought to you by our great friend over on Instagram. You can find him yourself. He is the Cuckster. Cuckster for Life is his Instagram handle. The Cuckster is on his North American tour right now. Every seedy motel in America. Oh man, it ain't safe from the Cuckster and his wife and the deplorable things they do inside the walls right next to that radiator. And if you want to witness all the carnal carnage, you can go find it yourself at Cuckster, the number 4, Life on Instagram. Let's get to it. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Did you know the Bassanigi is a breed of dog that's very unique? It can't bark. Instead, it yodels.
A yodeling dog?
Yeah.
Oh, I want one.
Basenji, B-A-S-E,
Basenji.
Basenji.
Is-
Okay.
Is this like a Liberace?
Yes, it's the Liberace dog. It yodels and plays piano. But it makes me wonder, again, because dogs, the nature of dogs being domesticated and all that jazz, I wonder if it's like a mountain dog, like a Swiss dog. Was it raised in the Alps and it was so used to like the calls of the humans that they did that it was like, I ain't barking, I'll do like they do, and I'll yodel with my voice. I'd like the yodel. I'd like to like learn if they're actually like.
or they have to say Ricola like they're Shaggy.
Yeah.
No,
No, but I one thing I'm always fascinated with by the yodelers, are they like the scatmen of Switzerland? Like, are they making up just sounds that sound cool when they echo back to them, or is like the phonetics of yodeling, is that like a language? Is it a phonetic musical kind? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, are they just making shit up as they do it because it sounds cool?
Yeah. Boy, listen, I don't know much about early computing, and I don't know about the phonetics of yodeling. Sounds pretty cool, though. And we got a dog that fucking yodels. Christ, I might have to tap into a rare breed.
I think my favorite thing in the world is when Wes doesn't give a shit.
No, I do, but you're asking me like
I
these
know.
hyper specific questions about cultures in Switzerland and yodeling, and about
know, but
whether or
it's
not is it made up or are they talking to one another? Fuck,
I know.
man. Yeah.
I'm not saying that you don't care, but I'm saying it's like when you don't care to like imagine it. Like I'm done. No, I've thought all I want to think about this, so we're done.
Yeah.
I'm done. I don't know. You know what?
Best guess is it's so sparse and so few and far between that they have to have some sort of communication system outside of, like a rope and fucking cans or something.
Yeah.
They can't telegram. They can't, it's got to be some sort of like. Oh,
I know, but like, okay,
got a storm front.
okay, smoke signals, right? I don't understand smoke signals, but I'm sure like the natives, like, 2 puffs for this, 5 puffs for that. Is there like a for this and a like? Is there? I'd like to know if it's like a code. That's all. And then
Did he
the
say
dog.
doodle do or doodle dee? I don't know. Let me ask him. Doodle doo, doodle dee. Doodle doo. It was a doodle doo. Sheep
then
were
the-
coming.
But then the dogs heard that shit and were like, "Oh, that's how you bark." Anywho, moving on. Did you know? Every year, the Earth becomes about 12 tons heavier because of meteorite landings.
I feel about once a year you hit us up with like Earth, either its axis is changing, the hour, the amount of spin, the time of day, et cetera, et cetera. This I didn't know, and that's 12 tons.
seems like a lot, doesn't it?
Seem like
Yeah, it's like six or seven elephants.
weird way to measure.
4 big ones.
I mean, I guess. I mean, is that how many like small bits of like?
Yeah, probably.
I mean, and it just collective. Like, thank God it's not just all at once, because all at once would kill us, right?
Yeah, a yodeler gets hit in his head about once a year. And
How much?
Is it? What'd you say,
How
Alan?
much did you say?
12 tons.
12 tons.
A year?
Yeah. The Earth gets 12 tons heavier every year. But here's the other thing, too. And I was thinking about this. I mean, I'm sure a lot of this shit hits the ocean and all that. But, like, do people randomly get hit? Like, from, like, space rocks?
Oh, I think so.
And then, like, no one knows what happened to them? Like, they got a hole in their head and, like, must have been a drive-by. Like, somebody's just, like, lying dead in the gutter and they're like, yep, random killing.
Oh, you're talking about not just traumatic injury, but death. I was talking about someone just mowing their lawn and feeling like someone flicked them in the back of their head. They're like, wait, what the hell?
Now, I mean, I'm talking like, I mean, what's terminal velocity? It's like over 200 miles an hour. I feel like if you get hit by a rock at like 220, like that's probably about all she wrote.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe you mow your lawn with a bulletproof vest. I don't know.
I should create some fucking shitty Netflix documentary where like I solve cold case murders by meteorite strikes. Is it possible that Lacey was taken out by a meteor? Let's find out.
Now, Tim Beekman had been suffering from cancer for 6 years. He was on the up and up.
But it was a moon rock lodged in his lung. He didn't know.
Took it on point blank. Blunt force trauma.
Did you know India has more cell phones than toilets?
That checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait, hold on. I thought you read this before because this led to your whole shtick about Indian POV porn. Now they have shitty scenery in the backgrounds. It's kind of like, ew.
No, I think you're mixing two things together because I agree with what you just said, but I don't know how it relates to cell phones and bathrooms.
No, well, like
It's just the
because like
country of India. That's all.
but because like them having the access to the cell phones to film said like kind of POV porn.
I mean, I think those are two different things. I mean, I'm not negating that I didn't accidentally read this like a year ago when I had my other OMG calendar.
Listen, the amount of bathrooms it means nothing. What I'm talking about.
Okay.
That fact that you just read led to that conversation.
Okay.
That's how I know that fact.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Because I got to be honest, when I saw that one, I was like, did I read this one already? I don't remember because I threw away
You
about.
were saying like the ambiance, you were like the sandstone and the bad lighting just looks
Well,
funky.
no, I stand by all those statements. I just wasn't sure how we got there from toilets and cell phones.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. I don't remember the course of that conversation.
But you're 100% right on everything you just said. Is that like for some reason I don't know if it's like the upload speed, or do they put like smaller data chips in Indian cell phones? Are the cameras that they put on Indian cell phones like a lesser quality than the cell phones that the rest of the world gets? I don't know, but there's a lot of Indians, and they apparently like porn just as much as we do. And I don't mind Indian porn. I just mind the quality of Indian porn, which is very subpar.
Feels very VHS.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, I can feel that.
What's wrong with VHS porn?
I mean, I don't watch a lot of Indian porn. I'm just saying.
I'm going to tell you this, Wes. Sometimes I will search for homemade VHS vintage. That's my search option. And there's something about knowing that it was filmed 30, 40 years ago on like a shoulder fired like VHS camera.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but because I feel that, because I wanted that. If I just want like today regular porn, I want like 4K, like 60 plus frames a second.
Right.
I don't want Raja, behind the flower shop with gritty pixelation. it just doesn't do it for me.
After he's done, he's like, I have to use the bathroom. There's one upstairs. Alan, what'd you say? Like 4K, gritty, blacked? That's the one, yeah?
4K gritty blacked would be kind of fucking intense, man. You need that in 4K. That's 4K. That's 4K quality stuff.
If you enjoy petite white girls getting bludgeoned by fucking mandingos, blacked
Blacked. Type in
is
black.
where you need to go to.
Yeah, I'm aware of that genre. It's not for the faint of heart. I'll tell you that.
No, no,
But it is. It's crisp and sharp.
that's right.
The picture quality is second to none.
Do you want to see the innocence leave an 18-year-old's fucking body? Check out Blacked.
Yeah. A lot more leaves the body
Especially
after that
check out,
fucking.
especially check out one when, like, you know, it ain't fun if the homies can't have none. It's kind of, you know, whew,
Oh God.
really get your money's worth.
I feel like this is another one that we've read before, by the way. So just deal with it. I mean, we're just gonna have to go. So here you go. Did you know Egypt's Great Pyramid weighs an estimated 6,648,000 tons?
Jesus.
Mm,
I don't know that we ever did talk about that.
don't remember that one offhand, but so what do they take? One of the bricks, multiply it by how many other bricks that they have.
Yep,
Voila.
that's it.
You know what I find more like, okay, first of all, I'm not negating or neglecting the weight of the pyramids. That's fascinating and how they built them. I've seen videos about, the theorization or the theory of how they built them. But about once a year, you get some moron tourist climbing them. Have you seen those videos?
I don't even know if it's one. I mean, I don't think they regulate like what tourists do at the pyramids, because I just saw a video today on TikTok, and like the people are outside the pyramids like, whoa, and they scroll over and there's people fucking climbing up the fucking pyramid.
Yeah, I don't
Really?
think they have a lot of clamp down on that either.
Security.
Yeah.
Security.
But honestly, at this point, because I mean the pyramids aren't what they used to be. Like, I mean, they used to be like slick limestone and all that jazz. I mean, what can a human body really do to the huge blocks that are there now? Like, what are you gonna do to them?
The longest stuntman role in history.
A Nordberg special, if you will.
Yeah, and this is not apples to apples because I was thinking about this joke, but I still think it kind of applies. Someone goes in there like, "Excuse me, sir, is there a restroom here?" Yes, there's one per pyramid. We have tons of cell phones now, but I know it's Egypt and India.
I know, it's fine. I get it. No,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the human body's not going to hurt the pyramid, so I don't think they care what the pyramid does to the human body.
That's right.
Yeah.
The theory is they rolled, right, Alan? They didn't roam, they rolled.
Yeah, correct.
But they had an assembly line where they were taking each block via rollers, and when one was not rollers but like two like I guess wood or whatever.
Like, well, what I saw is
PVC pipe is
they would attach like to the corners of the stone, like what, quarter moons, if you will,
yeah.
and then they would roll it that way. But like, maybe
Other ones like if they were if it like it was all like kind of a railroad type system, and when one was done, they would take it from the back and then assembly line it back to the front and just.
But see, I've also seen that they built like a huge canal, and like they flooded up to a point and then moved sand, and I've seen probably 5 to 10 different variations. For me, it's not even like the placement of the stones. It's like, how did they get them from where they were mined from? Is like the most fascinating thing. Like some of those stones are like 500 miles from the pyramid itself. Like where they're like were cut from.
Yeah.
Like how?
So it's aliens that makes the most sense.
I'm not saying it's aliens. I guess this kind of comes back to one of my other like fascinating thoughts about the world, is that, maybe some kind of extinction level event happened like human beings were technologically advanced like we are now, right? Now, let's say, like we were kind of talking about this earlier. Well, let's say tomorrow a 12-ton meteorite fucking hits. All of our information is stored on hard drives on computers. And so what happens when the Scrabble players of today have to rebuild society? Like, we have a rudimentary knowledge of how things work, but we don't know how to build it. So, like, the previous generation had all this amazing shit that they built over centuries. And then all of a sudden that was gone. The brain power was still there, but the know-how was gone. So what I'm getting at is, like, the brain power was there. The know-how was there. Some cataclysmic fucking thing happened, and it wiped out the ability to understand how they were able to accomplish this. Like, imagine every excavator was destroyed. And they're like, how'd they build these fucking skyscrapers? Well, they had magic fucking flotation devices. They could, like, they made up how we did everything. Like, we don't know. But, so that's my working theory. Not aliens, advanced human civilizations, that technology's gone. We've rebuilt since, and we've forgotten how we did it before.
Yeah, I could see that. I think it was probably the Jews. The Jew slaves is probably.
There's a chance of that, too.
Look, with enough human capital, you can make just about anything happen.
Alan, I think that's a line that they used in the fucking like Moon Railroad fucking meeting. How are we gonna do this? Well, with enough human capital.
Yeah,
you can do about anything.
You get to calling human capital. Yeah, we've really reached a point.
There was no objection from anyone in the room. With enough human capital, oh yeah,
that's a good point. Mm-hmm. You don't even need log. You could use humans to roll the block. You don't even need log. Just put a new human down.
A lot of fingers on chins and a lot of up and downs. Yes.
Yeah.
Throw a spacesuit on him and give him that attachment that makes him go. God, great.
Just say it. Don't overthink it.
Oh, shit.
And finally, did you know? Due to the amount of mercury in Lake Michigan, more than 40% of fish are born autistic and don't survive past their first year.
How does autistic fish work? Like,
well, they're very.
We have talked about this one as well because I think
really.
I legitimately believe you're like, how the hell do you capture enough fish and figure out who's autistic and who isn't? Do you look at
how many of these fish are really good at math and kind of socially awkward? Anybody? No? All right.
Right, like if you have a bunch of autistic fish that normally school, do they not school? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
They'll just hang out by themselves.
Just looking
around. Loners.
Yeah. They're too shy to eat.
Huge dicks. Huge penises, of course.
Huge penises.
Huge dicks with no use. God damn it. The way of the world. Unless you're into black.
It ain't no fun unless the autistic fish can't have none. Right?
There's a whole new meaning to blackened tuna.
Mm-hmm.
And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
All right. We're an hour and a half in. I'm going to leave it up to you guys if we want to get to this before you go earthquake vasectomy extravaganza. If not, we'll brush it off till next week.
Oh, man. I almost feel like...
I feel like it needs more time.
I feel like it needs more time. And I also feel like it may be... I thought about this earlier today. Maybe this might be a question for our legal counsel. Like, what happens if a natural disaster occurs during a delicate operation of such?
Okay. Well, perfect. All right, folks. Yeah, a gentleman was getting into vasectomy when the earthquake on the East Coast hit last week before. Yeah, so we will push that off until our legal counsel in the Big Apple takes a hold of it and asking for a friend. So,
by the way, I got to say, I was really excited about this earthquake because the last earthquake we had, the one that cracked the Washington Monument, like I didn't feel that one. I thought I had a wobbly wheel on my truck. And this time I was off and I was actually taking a nap and I was awakened by like because my windows are old and they have like the springs in them, and they fire off at Aberdeen Proving Ground West. And when they fire like the artillery shit, you'll go, and the little springs will go back and forth. But they were going back and forth for more than a minute, and I was like, what the fuck are they doing in Aberdeen? I was like, hey, it's an earthquake. I finally get to feel an earthquake. So yeah.
Those trucks are built so well that you can feel earthquakes that sensitive. Yeah.
So yeah,
Look at
that's how
that.
good it is.
The Ford Ranger is a quality vehicle, sir.
That was the earthquake was supposed to be like the sign of the rapture, but it too did not come.
I do think that earthquake was probably had something to do with the solar eclipse coming. Not like in some like weird like I don't know like prophetic way. Just the fact that you have these two celestial bodies like lining up and yanking on the earth at the same direction at the same time. Like I can see that being a delicate scenario.
I would go with like that affected the oceans enough for like a plate to shift like an extra like quarter centimeter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
just
fucking,
enough.
Like, and that gets you a 4.8. And it makes American Christians think rapture time.
Yes.
Let's go. They love it.
Break out the books. Break out the good books. We're ready.
They love it.
Well, Alan, tell all the Rapture believers, OJ sympathizers, or OJ opposite of sympathizers, and
Find us at www.jesus, the Church of Latter-day Saints. Just check us out. Got a new podcast page there. But no, please check us out on all your favorite social media pages. We're on at MDL Class Holes on Instagram and Twitter, Middle Class Holes on Facebook, TikTok, YouTubes, all that good stuff. And please check us out for your listening pleasures on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I think that's it, right?
all right. We're going to wrap it up with listener comments. We got stocked up after a couple weeks, so I got some good ones. I had to pick and choose here. So first, we're going to start off with what happened to you on YouTube. Do you guys remember this bit? This is where Murr, you got pulled over. You complained. Alan was like, "What the hell happened to you? Your conservatism is in question."
Okay,
Sitting there, I'm going with the boys in blue. So Christopher 8187. I think it's tongue in cheek. He said he turned to the other side. But Dave Cooley writes, see if you guys can decipher this. I didn't respond to it because it seemed a little bit weird, but he has all the adrenaline and thinks all that, ... On the other hand, some of us say what's in our head, ... LOL. So I think what he was saying is because Murr, when he walked away, you were like, my adrenaline was pumping, and I was so fucking pissed off. And what he's saying is you're a pussy and you didn't say what you wanted to say to the cop.
Yeah, I didn't say what I wanted to say to the cop because he's a cop and I'm not a dumb guy. And I was getting away with a warning and a
Maybe I read
$50
this
fine.
wrong.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, okay, let's just say it was my adrenaline that he's speaking to. That's my defense. Is like, yes, I didn't say that because the authority figure that showed up on YouTube and TikTok for the last 5 years doing really bad things was in charge of my well-being at the time. So I just minded my P's and Q's, took my $50 fine for not having my up-to-date registration in the car, and licked my wounds and moved on with life. Now, if he's saying the cop was full of
That's what I was
adrenaline.
gonna say, like, was the cop full of adrenaline? Yeah.
Yeah, the cop was probably full of adrenaline, I would assume. I mean, I would assume I'd be full of adrenaline every time I walked up to a unknown vehicle. Unless it's a Tesla, then I figure they're a bunch of pussy fucking vegans that aren't going to be able to fight back.
Basically.
And then I really wouldn't care what I said to him, which is probably what happened here. I'm surprised that you don't have a record. That's what he said to me. So I don't know.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're
Totally
talking
wouldn't
about
ask.
Murr, you're right. Murr was nervous. And if you're
I
talking
wasn't
about the cop, fuck that cop.
I actually wasn't nervous. I mean, that's why I joked back to him when he said, like, I'm surprised that you don't have a record. And I was like, surprised? He's like, yeah. And that's when he fucking was like, yeah, because guys who do 70 and a 50 usually have 25,000 speeding tickets and a dead body in a closet somewhere.
Weird.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Cool, I guess.
Next, coming up on this is from YouTube, Vince McMahon Pooparoo. CISO Felony writes, so why are we not taking these females to allow these sick acts to happen to them for money accountable? Where's the accountability?
That's true. That's a little true, I guess. I mean, yeah. But it's a double-edged sword, right? Yes, that's a grown woman allowed herself to get poop on. There's got to be a level of self-accountability. But also, like, sir, you mean to tell me Jennifer Aniston tells you she's going to give you a 100K job and she's going to let you beat it up, but she's going to poop on you a little bit while you finish off her friend? You ain't getting it. You know what I mean? Or like whoever, Halle Berry, pick your poison. I'm just saying, role reversal. Are you getting pooped on? Probably.
But you're comparing Vince McMahon to Halle Berry.
I'm
Like,
just
Vince
saying,
McMahon-
man. Hey, whatever. Oprah.
Yeah, Oprah.
Yes.
That's close. Kathy Bates, maybe.
There you go. Look, I'm just saying, pick your poison. You
Wait, hold on, though. Wait, hold on. But you got to remember when this happened, though. Vince was still like a pretty like debonair, like older gentleman. He was probably like
what happened like 2 years ago.
Nah, I think it was like when Brock. From what I understand, it was when Brock Lesnar first made his way into the WWE, which would have made Vince like in his like early 60s, and Vince was still pretty jacked, and like he wasn't walking around with a cane and looking all like soupy eyed and shit. But either way, like I think I put this into perspective with the Louis C.K. masturbation fiasco. It was like these chicks didn't really like want Louis to do all this stuff, but they were up and coming comics, and they were like, well, he is Louis C.K., and if I don't let him jerk off in front of me, maybe my comedy career that I've been hoping for all this time will be poo-pooed in some capacity, so I'm going to let him do it. And so, like, I get it. Like, people in positions of power have a fucking, like, responsibility to, like, not poop on someone's head.
Alan, you looking up his age when he did this? When he
Oh
pooped?
yeah, I was just trying to see if there was a timeline, but I don't feel like reading all these words right now.
But
Fair
I get
enough.
it. But I mean, does that make sense though? Like,
Yeah.
somebody who holds your career in the palm of their hand, like,
Yeah.
they ask you to do something like morally corrupt. Like, do you all of a sudden have like? Not everybody has the wherewithal to become like a martyr for the cause, because now you have to become like
Yeah.
a student of like legal, like, okay, what are my options here? But the easiest path is poop on the head.
Yeah.
Really.
No, you're right. Like the pressures, like first of all, that's why it's illegal because like the pressures that a superior, especially with a person like Vince McMahon, in the context of the WWE as your workplace, that like the pressures he can put on you and people around you, that's why it's illegal. Like he holds your career. He can make or break you. He can make you a millionaire, or he can poop on your head and not pay your fucking NDA agreement. You know what I mean? Like it just depends. He chose the latter, and now she's getting fucking stupid paid.
But on the flip side of that, there's a lot of chicks who are like, poop on my face, poop
That's
wherever you want, and they get to go up in the world. And so, yes, because of those ladies, people like Vince are like, why can't I poop on you? The last chick let me poop on her, and she's vice president of fucking marketing.
Now she had to work for like $100,000 and got pooped on. Now that's not enough. Clearly, I would have asked for like I'm saying. There's a number Oprah can poop on me for. It's not $100,000. It's more than that. But I'm just saying, like I think she should have held out for more. But sometimes you draw a line in the sand.
This is definitely making me question the $1 Million Man's career. Because he's well aware that everyone has a price. What did you do?
That's right.
What happened, Ted? What
Yeah.
happened?
By the way, rumor mill is that Virgil or Vince, his cohort who passed away not too terribly long ago, used to be able to give himself fellatio.
That's a
just
blessed man.
That's right. Funny or racist on YouTube. I think I remember this. This is a hate comment. Croton Network writes, if it wasn't funny, it was probably said by one of these guys. Fuck you, guy. Yeah, I think I responded with like, if it's something about him being a coward. I don't know. I think I was drunk.
No, that was a different one. That was a different one you responded to, because one of our great listeners, he comments on everything. I can't remember his TikTok handle, but they were like, "This just proves podcast equipment's not expensive enough," and he's like, "This just proves not everyone should have an opinion." And I was like, "Oh yeah." Before, because I was gonna comment and say something shitty, and I'm like, "Thank you for taking the steam out of this."
And I think that's actually on here. I think I wrote back. I think something about cowards having an opinion. There you go. Yeah, here we go. That's the Punchline Instagram. This is where we chatted about. I was telling a joke about or a funny story that involved poop, and the person that I was telling it to didn't understand. Poop was the punchline. Stubert29 writes, "It's their loss. It's like not laughing at farts. You're choosing not to laugh at something inherently funny."
Yeah,
We've
agreed.
talked about this
100%.
lots of times. Thank you, Stubert. And Toupee of Today on TikTok, Steve Belschner writes, "I really hope it sounds like old Velcro."
That's reasonable.
I actually saw a video that made a good point. This guy was talking about how he was going to dinner with his wife and his in-laws, and she said to him, like, "Please make sure you take your hat off at dinner." And he's like, "Look, I'm balding. I get it. I wear a hat. I'm uncomfortable. But I took it off because I respect my in-laws and my wife." But there was a guy at the table, obviously had a toupee on. Why doesn't he have to take that shit off? He's wearing somebody else's hair. How's that fucking fair?
Agreed.
That is really funny. Yeah.
And a good point.
And a great point. That's a great point. Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. We got
more. I got plenty. I'm good. I'm gonna go forever if you want.
Oh, you want to roll with this? Like,
Yeah,
hey, 3 hours. Alan, you can, it's up to you, man. Make this roll till midnight. 3 hour episode for you folks. I mean, this will be a 2 job. This will be on your way to work and your way back on a Friday.
Yeah.
Now, look, we need to get our legal counsel on soon, and then hopefully, I don't know, like we were solicited by another podcast, gentleman out of Anne Arundel County. I thought it'd be funny to get those guys on. We'll see, right?
Are we doing theirs or are they doing ours?
I think we're gonna do like a little bit of both.
Oh,
Okay. Why don't we just do a segment and we'll air on both podcasts?
Okay.
that works.
And then they'll wonder how they did that. You know, just like we talked about, like, damn, microwaves. How those guys do that at the same time?
Like,
Wow.
oh my god! Fucking all that cheap podcast equipment.
I'm gonna put a candy bar in my pocket.
That's right. I'm gonna have an MRI machine right here. I'm gonna blow up smithereens. All right, folks. Middle class holes. Thank you for tuning in. Take it easy.